Steadfast to Chaffey College's mission of improving lives and communities through education, the Rising Scholars Program has been a beacon of hope for more than 1,000 incarcerated and formerly incarcerated students over the last 20 years. Formerly known as Turning Point, the Rising Scholars Program provides system-impacted students a quality education at the California Institution for Men and the California Institution for Women in Chino. Graduates of the program have proven time and time again that access to a college education can be transformational, with scholars going on to transfer to four-year universities and entering the workforce. And now, meet recent Rising Scholar graduate, LaTosha Nairn.
My name is LaTosha. I am a Chaffey College graduate, Rising Scholar student, formerly Turning Point student. I grew up in South Central Los Angeles, and in those streets I had to be a little tough. My mother and my father, they were part of the gang culture. The streets were in my home. So there's parties, there's the drinking, there's the hanging, there's the shooting, there's all this in my house, and I know that I gotta get up and go to school. I have anger from things that happened as a child, but there was a lot of love. There was times where they stole cars to get me to school. People think that because you come from the streets, everything is bad. Like, those people gave me what they had, you know? Those young guys that had my back and made sure I had school shoes, somehow they all went to jail, and then I end up alone. And then I end up in a circle where then now people dying and I end up alone. I had to realize I was never meant to be saved in that aspect. School has always been a big thing for me. It was my way out. When I got to high school, some things that happened in my home made it to where children's services had to come out. So then there I am running from children's services, so I couldn't even go to school anymore. I didn't understand emotional language. I didn't understand what I was feeling. The emotion that I can express the most back then was anger. I was in a toxic relationship. I was married, and things transpired to me committing a violent act on someone. I ended up getting 14 years in prison. I was at a program what people would consider a halfway house. It's called CCTRP, where you could do the last few years of your time on an ankle monitor, and the only place you can go is to school or to work, and then you have to come back. It was a company that has had multiple programs, but they had never had one for women. They gave me a computer and told me to figure it out. At the time, I had been in prison 8.5, 9 years. I don't know what I'm doing with this computer half the time, you know, and I don't really know much else, but I know Chaffey.
I started working with the program, it was Turning Point at the time, in 2016. I was working as an instructional specialist with our incarcerated tutors inside the California Institution for Women.
She had just got the grant for Rising Scholars, and she didn't have any students. So here I am, I need help. She need a student, and we kind of worked it out that way.
At the time, she was pretty guarded and didn't necessarily seem very open to building relationships with any of us. There was kind of, I'm just here to learn, like, everybody leave me alone. I actually stepped away from the program for a little bit to do some other work here with Chaffey. When I came back on board in 2021 to help build the program on campus for formerly incarcerated students, LaTosha was the very first student that I connected with. I'll never forget when I opened up that Zoom window and I saw her smiling, and she was wearing her own clothing, and she just was so certain about exactly what she wanted to do. So we got her enrolled in online classes.
I was the only one in school for a while at Chaffey, and then the next semester I sat with the director of the program, talked to her about Athlete and talked to her about Chaffey.
She came to me and said, there's other women here in this house that I'm living in, and I want to help them sign up for college. And she actually single-handedly brought 30 women in custody into our program. Because of LaTosha, these 30 women had access to higher education.
The professors that came in, they treated us like human. They taught you had a sense of normalcy where you feel like you're not so isolated from the world. I was determined to graduate on time, be able to transfer, and graduate with honors, and I did all the three.
LaTosha left that facility and transferred to Cal State Dominguez Hills, and I know that she's working as a mentor, and we get to keep in touch, and I just get to see all the amazing things that she's doing.
I am an NCRP major. For those who don't know, it is Negotiation, Conflict, Resolution, Peace Building. It's very long. So stick to NCRP, it works well. My short-term goal is to be a gang interventionist for youth My long-term goal is to be family marriage counseling. Everything that I went through made me the person that I am today. It all ties into one when you bring in purpose and hope into a person, whether it's school, whether it's work, regardless of what it is, you know?
The most effective way to rehabilitate somebody who is system impacted is for them to pursue their education. I feel really fortunate to get to do work every day that I know matters and that there's data to support it because it's working.